We appreciate you being here on the WS Daily, and Matt Lee joins us, and we're talking real estate issues and unprecedented news coming out of BC. Explain what's going on here.
Yeah, so Christine Clark, she has come out and she has said that
She's the premier?
Yes, absolutely. And she's saying that it's tough they're basically saying they're going to take the ability to self-regulate away in Vancouver or in BC altogether, because the prices, the average home sale, which doesn't matter if it's a town or a semi detached, is $889,000, up 29% from last year.
In a single year.
Yeah.
So because real estate is through the roof in BC, it's almost not fair to the average person. So the premier's come along and said the real estate industry now has to be
so now they're going
governed.
to go into more depth with this, and they're going to really, because if you look at Canada overall, it's $508,000 for the average home in Canada.
But you take away Toronto, you take away Vancouver's averages, what happens to the rest of
327.
Canada? 327. That's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference. So you're looking at, if you take these two cities away and you actually see, I mean, that sounds pretty average. You know, it's something that looks, I mean, because, you know, if you're sitting in Kingston, we're just above 300. So it's one of these things that if you start to add these big cities and these things that are happening, and you're going to see some interesting stuff that's going to happen over the next little while out in BC with the regulations.
Well, you've prepared some interesting stuff yourself. We have some pictographs, some visual aids to show you here. Let's take a walk down memory lane here. What are we looking at here, Matt?
So from 21.46 to now, and what that means, if we were looking at an interest rate in 1981 that basically shows that it was 21.46%. The average house sale was actually $76,000. It went to $100,000 in 1987. The interest rate dropped to 10% for a 5-year fixed in 95, and you know, and we actually jumped to 2003. It went to 200,000. 2008, we actually went to a 40-year amortization, which they actually cut back in 2012. And what they did was they cut it back because people were just extending themselves. In 2015, they actually made some major changes with the Bank of Canada. They actually cut the rates, and we were actually down to, I think it was about 0.25%. We talked about it in the past. So now, with all of these cuts, these interest rates that are going on, we're looking at 2016. The average home sale is over $500,000. It's actually $508,000.
And so between 1995 when we started this graph compared to now, values have jumped 400,000. 400,000.
Yeah, so it's actually from 95, it was 200,000 average.
200,000.
So back in 87, it was 100,000. So from 87 to today, we jumped 400,000. But from 87 to 95, it's only jumped at 100,000. I mean, but we're talking from 21.46% interest, which all you do is pay interest. I mean, as the average person, and then you go down to 10%. So therefore, I mean, you're paying a large amount today. And you know, I was talking to a mortgage broker today, and it was 2.5 5-year fix. So I mean,
can you imagine? Wow.
I mean, that's totally different. It's a totally different market. So that's why if you take, you know, you look at house sales are down, interest rates are up, and then all of a sudden now house sales are up, and we're continuing inflation as well, but interest rates are down. So I mean, what happens if the interest rate goes up? You know, there's a lot of things that could change.
Yeah. So for now, Kingston is in a great spot.
We're in a great spot. We have good employment, and everything looks good, and you know, with the city kind of set up the way it is, everything's great.
And Matt Lee is great. We thank you. We'll see you next week, sir.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Real Estate Review was brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage Pro Alliance. Have a question for Matt? Ask it online at mattlee.ca.
This is your Community Watch Update. Canada Day is just around the corner.